The bottom line is, in order to defend yourself against aggressive fighting techniques, you need to practice aggressive fighting techniques against other aggressive fighters. Okay? That's exactly why MMA is so powerful for self defense, because you actually fight on a regular basis, not necessarily full force, but 25 to 50% power, which is pretty hard when you're fighting with other trained fighters. You learn how to take hits and deal hits in pressure situations where the other person is dynamically striking at you. He's moving around, he's jabbing, he's crossing, he's hooking, he's throwing kicks, and sometimes throwing knees and elbows depending on the type of sparring. Okay? You're learning how to defend, how to offend, and how to take punches if you can't defend or offend. Okay? This is something you only learn when you practice full contact fighting. How do you expect to defend yourself on the street against, multiple attackers or only one attacker or people with weapons if you've never practiced full contact fighting in your life? If you don't actually practice full contact fighting with other people who have trained in full contact fighting? Seriously. People think that they can learn some kind of self-defense technique, or they can go to a Krav Maga school and learn, joint manipulation and like self-defense moves and stuff. Which, by the way, if you've done MMA or some kind of full contact fighting where you build a base for a long period of time, then you go learn Krav Maga, you'll be much better off. But don't just go into a self-defense school if you've never done full contact fighting before. Because the most important thing is learning how to defend against kicks to the inner thigh if you want to defend against kicks to the groin. It's the same fucking thing. Or defending against a jab or a cross to the face, because that's the same thing as an eye poke. Which, by the way, when you get into full contact fighting, you realize it's not that hard to defend against an eye poke. It's literally the same thing as moving your head and covering up and blocking when someone punches you in the face. Kicks to the groin. That's something that these self-defense motherfuckers always say. I'll just kick you in the groin. I'll jab my finger in your eye. Okay, listen. If someone tries to kick you in the groin, all you got to do is check the kick the same way that you would if someone kicks you on the inner thigh. In Muay Thai and kickboxing, we defend against kicks to the inner thigh all the time. And it's literally the same thing. Or a front kick to the hip. It's literally, we're going to react the same way as if you were going to kick us in the groin. It's literally the same thing. We won't even know you were trying to kick us in the groin because our body just reacts. Because we spar all the time on a regular basis, at least 2 to 3 times a week. We spar light, we spar medium, we spar hard. So you try kicking us in the groin, it's not that big of a deal. We're just going to act the same way we would if you would kick us in the inner thigh. You try poking us in the eye, you try some crazy Superman eye poke punch thing. It's going to be defended against the same way as, all the people, the hundreds of people that jab us in the face on a regular basis every week. Okay? I don't understand why people think that there's a difference between self-defense and MMA in that regard. Like, people think that, for some reason they have an advantage because they can poke us in the eye. Listen, okay, I guarantee you my hands are much faster than these self-defense fucks who don't really practice fighting, okay? Anyone who practices, anybody who does full contact fighting, okay, practices a jab on a regular basis, are going to be able to poke you in the eye much faster than self-defense motherfuckers. Okay, yeah, that's right. This is a fucking a competition. Who can jab you in the eye first? Like, really, that's what they say. They're like, yeah, man, like, you MMA people are gonna get poked in the eye or kicked in the dick because y'all don't fucking train to defend against that shit. Yeah, that's not true. Okay, jabs and crosses are the same thing as eye pokes, and we defend against it all the time. Okay, we can probably do all that crazy shit a lot faster. I guarantee you, my front kick is a lot faster than your front kick. I could probably kick you in the dick much easier than you can kick me in the dick. So we should have a YouTube channel. Who can kick each other in the dick fastest, right? Anyway, it's fucking retarded. And then weapons, right? Weapons. Like, oh, how do you defend against weapons, Mr. MMA guy? Well, you self-defense people probably don't understand. Well, first of all, how are you going to have confidence to deal with any kind of aggressive opposition if you don't face aggressive oppositions in sparring on a regular basis? It's more about confidence and situational awareness and at least movement than just learning knife disarms. Okay, I did Filipino knife fighting for 4 years. In my Shaolin class, they taught it. And I can tell you, even if you train extensively in knife fighting, you're still going to get cut and probably experience severe wounds and possibly die. So you don't ever want to deal with weapons no matter what, but if a weapon does come up, I guarantee you somebody who's been doing full contact fighting on a regular basis is going to be able to deal with that much more efficiently. Especially because if you look, I've been watching these videos of people getting attacked with knives and guns and weapons all the time. And what I constantly see is people trying to grab the knife out of each other's hands, and it's a big struggle for the knife or for the weapon. But when you look at it, you can see that there's plenty of openings and opportunities to knock the guy out that has the weapon. His face is open and shit because they're so focused on the weapon. So again, seeing that the face is open so you can knock the guy out and take the weapon away or run and call the police, I would say somebody who's been doing full contact fighting is going to be able to deal with that more effectively. And also, if you know how to clinch and you establish wrist control. That's really big in Muay Thai and really big in Jiu-Jitsu. Establishing wrist control, that's something that Jiu-Jitsu and wrestling and Muay Thai teaches you on a regular basis, especially Jiu-Jitsu. So, again, why the fuck do you think that you're going to have an advantage? Just because people who don't practice MMA don't know what they teach you. They don't. If you don't practice jiu-jitsu, you don't know what they teach you. If you don't understand what you're trying to debunk, you can't really debunk it. And I went to self-defense nonsense throughout my childhood. It was fucking ridiculous now looking back on it. What else? So defending against punches, defending against takedowns, defending against all the dangers that street fighting and getting jumped and getting mugged, all the danger that you face in these real life self-defense situations, MMA gives you the tools to defend against it. Okay? Someone who's going to try to grab you and throw you against a wall. We defend against shit like that in MMA on a regular basis. Somebody who's going to try to grab you and throw you headfirst on the pavement. We defend against that when we practice wrestling. If somebody has you pinned against the wall, jiu-jitsu or Muay Thai clinch up against the cage, or wrestling when we fight up against the wall all the time. Okay? It's really fucking hilarious when these traditional martial artist people try to say that MMA people don't train for the street, so it's not good for self-defense. Like, yeah, as if Jake Mace is going to teach you how to defend yourself on the street, or any of these people are, And again, I have one of my best friends has been teaching Krav Maga for years now. Okay, and he tells me the same thing. Learn full contact fighting for 5 years and then use Krav Maga to help you get street minded. Okay? Most of y'all motherfuckers would probably don't get put on the street. Leave your questions and comments down below, and I'll talk to you next time.